As I was kind of coming up on this 10-year, so I'm going to play just one more, and then we're going to do the B-side, and we'll be done. But as I was coming up on this 10-year anniversary of my first record, I was thinking about, as I said before, all the things that don't change. And yet there is a lot that really does change over 10 years, you know. And I started to think about asking the same kinds of questions, like what would, if 10 years later, I sought to make that record again, asking in that same spirit, asking those kind of questions about my role in the church's role in culture, that sort of thing. You know, what would that record look like? What would those songs be? What would those critiques be and those observations be and those... and at first that was just like reminiscing, it was just a fun thing to think about. And then before you knew it, songs kind of started to show up. And that's the one thing about this job that I cannot fake, is the songs. I have a very strange relationship with songwriting. I literally will not write a song for 12 months, not a song, not a word. And then a record's worth of songs will show up in a month. I'll record every one of them, and then it will go dark. For 2 years, I will not write a song. And then 11 songs show up, I record every one. And then that's literally what it's been for 20 years. And it always works that way. I cannot fake that part. And so that's when I know something is happening. I don't write extra. If you have every one of my records and every Cadence record, you literally have heard every song I've ever written. I don't have any extra. One day when I'm gone, there will be no vault of unreleased B-sides. Like, I don't have it. I've recorded every song I've ever written. And there's just nothing on it, you know. And so it's really, so when the songs show up is when I know there's something happening and that I need to pay attention to, I need to follow. So even though I was just I was literally 2 or 3 shows into the release tour for my new record that has just come out at the end of the year when I started to write the songs. And I thought finally I was going to get a break from the studio. I've been in the studio for 4 straight years making records, not all mine, but I produce other records. I do, you know, our studio stays really busy, and I thought here finally, it's been one record after the next for 4 straight years. I've not been out of the studio. Finally get a break, and then the songs start showing up. I'm like, well, one more. Yeah, one more, and then so I'm gonna take a break soon. And Sandra's got a record. I've got a new one. We're set. We're set for at least a few months, and then it's and so that's what this record is. The record is basically songs that are, you know, it's like the follow-up to my first album. It's like a sister record to my first album, and goes very much in line. It's like those same questions 10 years later. So we played one of these new songs for you, and the name of the album incidentally is called "I Was Wrong, I'm Sorry, and I Love You." Is the name of the record. And which incidentally are the 3 things that you have to learn how to say in order to keep a relationship going. Yeah. So if we're going to do this together, we have to learn how to say that to each other and to people outside. We have to learn how to say those 3 things. And so that's what the record's called. And this particular song is a song that I have been wanting to write for a long time, and I've just now finally gotten to. And it's a result of people coming up to me over the years and thanking me for particular songs that they are using as a proof text for their cynicism, and which I hate. I really hate that. It really gets to me because I'm such a cynic. I deal with cynicism because I'm an idealist, right? So as an idealist, I look at the world and I imagine things the way they're supposed to be, but things aren't the way they're supposed to be, and they never are, and they really won't be. Until the day when all things are made right, which is the day that's coming. And so I get cynical. And cynicism is basically saying, so this thing over here, whatever this is, there's no hope for this. That's never going to change. And so we're going to just fold our arm, we're going to smirk at it, we're going to make fun of it, we're going to, whatever it is, just who cares, like just ignore it or, you know, forget about it. It's never going to change. And so that's what cynicism is. It's the absence of hope. And yet, the story that we have been charged with telling is the good news of a day coming, of a kingdom coming where all things will be made right. That's the good news. That's any of us who are followers of Jesus, I don't presume that you are, but I am. And so that's part of my job, not my vocation necessarily, but that's part of my job in the world, is to tell that story. The story of the day when a kingdom will come, and the peace of God, the shalom of God will be restored to everything He's made, and He made all things. And so it's really incongruent with that story. My cynicism is incongruent with that story. It really has no place. And in fact, it's very much the enemy of that story. If my cynicism is louder than my telling of that story, then I'm misleading people. And cynicism has no place in that story. And so it really bothers me. So I wrote this song, in hopes that I don't know, maybe people will still do that. Maybe they just won't tell me about it. This hopefully will set to rest. If I have some image with certain people of being like a cynic and championing cynicism, then maybe this song will set that to rest. Change. When everyone you've ever loved is left, pushed you away, what's the use of trying this again? It's hard to keep from giving up. It's easier to just close up your heart. Place your vote, misplace your hope on men who let you down with loaded words and broken promises. It's hard to trust in anyone. It's easier to just hold up your arms. But everything's gonna change and nothing's gonna stay the way it is. One day you'll wake and the curse will break, and even you won't be the same. Your hope is not wasted on the day when everything will change. But you make a vow, you take the bread and wine in the family name with people who mistake lies for the truth. Oh, it's hard to keep on showing up. It's easier to run away from home. But everything's gonna change and nothing's gonna stay the way it is. One day you'll wake and the curse will break, and even you won't be